Hi, how are you? I'm dressed as a pumpkin because it is Halloween soon. I'm a bit early. But I thought it would be cute. And I'm gonna be doing some stickers. You can't see them, but I will be doing them. This says 200 spine chilling stickers. That's cute. Okay, so the Stanley Hotel was opened in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley in Colorado. Now, the idea of this hotel, so basically, Freeland Stanley himself, he was diagnosed with tuberculosis, and the doctors basically recommended him a good diet, sun, and fresh air. Where he was staying, which was basically where he built the hotel, he really enjoyed it and his health significantly improved. So he got the idea of opening a resort for, quote, upper class Easterners and a health retreat for sufferers of pulmonary tuberculosis, end quote. So how did this all turn into the most haunted hotel in the country / world / everywhere? Sorry, I'm just getting my stickers organised. So as you can imagine, it's really popular with ghost hunters, ghost shows, all that kind of stuff. Everyone wants to stay there. Everyone wants a piece of what the hotel has to offer. I personally do not. And of course, it gained popularity thanks to Stephen King. So let's talk about him for a second. So Stephen King basically stayed there in the 1970s. So because the hotel was really going downhill at one point, other hotels were popping up nearby that had such things, luxuries as heating and air conditioning. I'm not actually sure. It doesn't sound like the hotel had that unless it was just not working very well, which isn't ideal if it's really hot or really cold, is it? And it was actually very close to getting demolished, which would have been a shame. It would have been a shame. But Stephen King saved it by staying there one night with his wife, Tabitha. It was actually in 1974. They were the only guests in the hotel. So they stayed in room 217, which is famous in itself. But so basically, Tabitha went up to their room while Stephen King kind of roamed the corridors looking for inspiration and for a feel of the hotel, as you do. And basically, this is a quote, quite a long quote from Stephen King, apparently. It was like God put me there to hear that and see those things. I dreamed of my 3-year-old son running through the corridors, looking back over his shoulder, eyes wide, screaming he was being chased by a fire hose. I woke up with a tremendous jerk, sweating all over, within an inch of falling out of bed. I got up, lit a cigarette, sat in a chair looking out the window at the Rockies. By the time the cigarette was done, I had the bones of The Shining firmly set in my mind. End quote. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So basically, it was haunted AF. It was known as the Disneyland for Ghosts, which isn't a resort I would like to ever visit. So there were 140 rooms in total in the hotel, and basically every room reported hauntings. So reports of laughter, shadow figures, moving objects, flickering lights. And apparently the ghosts don't like vacuums. If someone turns one on, the machines play up and then the plugs fly out of the sockets. So the ghosts are like, shut the hell up, I'm trying to sleep. Pop. Let's get into the actual individual most haunted areas of said hotel. Okie dokie. So we have the Vortex. Now, the Vortex is basically just the hotel's main staircase, but it has been known as a vortex for ghosts. A paranormal portal, if you will. Basically, there's a tunnel of spiritual energy, which is why lots of ghosts seem to congregate and hang out there. It's very popular among ghosts. They all like it there. It's like a really popular nightclub or something, I'd imagine. So yeah, lots of employees and lots of guests claim to have seen or heard or experienced things in this particular area. So basically, it's the stairway that connects the lobby to the second floor suite. So the main event, if you will. One picture from that area actually made the news. At the time, there was no little girl staying in the hotel, but someone snapped a pic of the staircase with a creepy ass little girl standing there on the staircase. And I will, if I remember, to put the picture in here. Why is it always creepy girl children, ghost children, boy children, whatever? Why is it always children? It's because they're creepy, isn't it? I mean, I'm just saying. But there you go. There was also the concert hall, which was built for Stanley's wife, Flora Stanley. She was a big fan of playing the piano, and she particularly loved this room. So much so that even though she didn't die there, like a lot of these spirits, apparently her spirit continues to play the piano well into the night after the musicians and everyone has departed the concert hall. The music still goes on. I mean, I didn't see anywhere of people actually seeing Flora sitting there playing the piano, but it's just the fact that they could hear the music, so they assume it's her, which it could be. It could be Flora, but it's like, Flora, I'm trying to sleep, so can you actually not? I can hear your jams in the morning, but just not right now. There's also a guy called Paul who haunts that particular room. He apparently worked there, and he was like in charge of enforcing the 11 p.m. curfew, whatever that is. People used to hear, or people would hear a little voice or something saying, "Get out," basically. And there was someone working on the floors in that room at one time who kept feeling someone basically nudging him until he left. Which, God, that must have been annoying. You're just trying to do your work and then you just get, oh God. Paul! Let's talk about room 217, the room which the Kings stayed in. So this is the hotel's most haunted room. Bum bum bum. So there was a snowstorm, and the head housekeeper, Elizabeth Wilson, I'm sure I saw her name as something else when I looked at somewhere else, but I'm going with Elizabeth Wilson. She was just doing her rounds. She was lighting the acetylene lanterns throughout the hotel in case there was a power cut during the snowstorm. But little did she know there was actually a gas leak. And what happens when you light a fire or a match or whatever when there is a gas leak? Explodes. It exploded and she went flying. The room, the hall, and the floor beneath her completely. She then fell through the floor to the dining room below. And surprisingly, she only had 2 broken ankles and some cuts and bruises. I mean, 2 broken ankles would be so annoying. She didn't die. No one died in this explosion, which is incredible. People believe that she actually haunts that room, even though she didn't die there. She died like in her 90s in her home or wherever she was living at the time, which is her home. People believe that she is unable to let go of the trauma, so she is kind of tethered to that room. And apparently she's not a fan of unwed guests sharing a bed. So she basically wedges herself between them while they're asleep to make sure no hanky-panky occurs, which is actually hilarious. Even Jim Carrey stayed in this room while they were filming Dumb and Dumber. I didn't even realise that was filmed there, to be honest. And he supposedly jumped up in the middle of the night and ran half naked out of the room because he was so spooked by something that happened in there. It doesn't actually say what he experienced. I mean, I could have looked into it, but I didn't. So if the information is not spoon-fed to me, I'm not looking for it. Now we have the 4th floor. I can't concentrate on my stickers. I'm too into this now. Even though 217 is like the most haunted room, this is like the most haunted floor because people report loads of stuff going on the regular. So basically, actual ghost sighting, weird things that happen, stuff like that. Originally, it was just one massive attic just used for storage during the winter and things like that. It then eventually got turned into living quarters for female employees and their children, which then eventually got turned into more hotel suites, basically. A lot of guests say they hear kids running throughout the halls, laughing and having fun. Ugh. You know, well into the night. Again, ghosts just don't seem to have any respect whatsoever for people that sleep. They always do stuff at night when, like, you don't want them to. You know what I mean? It's really quite annoying. In the rooms as well, wardrobes open and close on their own. People's items go missing. Their clothes will end up disappearing and then they'll find them later, neatly folded and tucked away in drawers. Huh. Wonder if my boyfriend thinks our house is haunted. Room 428 is the most active. I don't know if this means it is actually more haunted than 217 or not. I don't really understand what defines the most haunted anyway. But yeah, so heavy footsteps are heard. Furniture is often rearranged. God, you know, you just want to stay a nice night in a hotel and you wake up and your bed is like the other side of the room. Apparently, the ghost that appears is a cowboy. And people believe that this is a cowboy. His name was James Nugent, Rocky Mountain Jim. So he was like a local explorer and he did some things for the community. Again, he didn't die there, but people reckon that that is his ghost somehow. Why do these ghosts or these people that don't die in that area just seem to go there? It's really odd. Anyway, apparently while he was alive, he was quite the ladies' man. And now that he has passed, he likes to kind of, he's, you know, very attracted to the female guests, likes to hang around them, and has been known to kiss them in the night, which I'm not a fan of. And also, it is haunted by pets. There is a pet cemetery, another Stephen King book, a pet cemetery in the grounds where they buried pets. And there's, oh my god, it's so cute. It's known to be a golden retriever named Cassie that roams around, and also a white fluffy cat named Comanche, sorry, which is quite, to be fair, I say it's sweet, but if I saw a ghost dog, I'd shit myself. So they had tunnels running underneath the hotel, and although they're mainly filled in now for safety, there was actually a French cook that was killed down there when the tunnels partly collapsed on him. And again, so his spirit roams down there as well. Sometimes the tunnel, or some parts of the tunnels, are still used for staff to get to their staff room, I think I read. Yeah, that's basically it. I've done hardly any of these stickers, man. I was too involved. So yeah, you can still stay in the Stanley Hotel, of course. I don't know how much it is or anything like that. Let's have a look. So if you go onto TripAdvisor and you go to Stanley Hotel, there are over 3,900 reviews, and it's like 3.5 dots, so which is very good. No one actually is really reporting the fact that it's haunted as hell. It's mostly just like, oh, the service wasn't very good, the accommodation was a bit dirty, blah blah blah. What about the ghosts, or like freaking Elizabeth Wilson sleeping between you and your boyfriend or something? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, you have to actually contact the accommodation for availability, so I can't actually see how much it was. I mean, I could probably find out. But yeah, you can stay at the Stanley Hotel if you really want to. I do not, although I would be, I think if I lived in Colorado, I probably would, you know, but I'm not going to fly all that way just to be scared. So yeah. Anyway, well, I dressed 2 vampires in that time, but that's about it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Still restricted on time, so anyway, take care of yourselves. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.